Quilt Roadies. Well, for those of you that are returning, welcome back. If you are new, I hope you stick around for a while. Today is a rainy day in the Pacific Northwest. We had a little break in the weather, but we now are heading towards 2 or 3 days of rainy weather. So it's a good time to hunker down in the Beehive and do some stitching. So while we're talking and I'm sharing some stuff with you, I'm going to be stitching away on my wool quilt that had been hanging on the wall languishing, and I just need to get it all stitched. So the way I'm approaching it, and if you are new to the channel, I have a little different way of doing my wool. I use fusible, and I used to use soft fuse. I still have some soft fuse because I was a soft fuse hoarder. But there is a new product which I can't remember the name of. Fusible webs are not all created the same, but I will put down in the description box the new variety that people have embraced after soft fuse discontinued their manufacturing for it. But because I travel a lot, I just got in the habit of fusing my wool pieces onto whatever my base product was, because I didn't want to lose a piece in an airport or a train station. You know, so I just got in the habit of that. And it doesn't matter who the designer is, because some designers do not like fusing their wool down, because it does create a little bit of a loft, which is a nice look. And it and yeah, I love that, but I don't want to carry all the loose pieces around while I travel. So I tend to, so this whole quilt, every piece is fused all the way around the border. And then I tend to stitch the smallest pieces first, because those are the ones that might come off, and you might lose them if the fusible didn't stick as hard as you want. And even though the fusible says, in my case, no steam, I steam both sides. It's worked for me for years. So, but read your directions. So what I'm currently doing now is I am stitching down with just a basic buttonhole stitch. Nothing fancy on this quilt. All the pumpkin stems. And once those are all done, then I will go to the leaves. And the reason I do the pumpkin stems is because once I get the pumpkin stems stitched down, they will keep the pumpkin from disappearing off the quilt. Yeah, and I'm using Valdani thread. I have a whole little pile of it, and a lot of the autumn colors, because I love autumn stitching. It's one of my favorites times a year for wool stitching. I think it's because I mean, look at this hand-dyed wool. Yeah, it's absolutely gorgeous. And I'm lucky because the shop that is closest to me, the quilt shop that is closest to me, is Pioneer Quilts, and they have a hand dyer who dyes their wool, and it's gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. So I'm very blessed that way. And in fact, this week is Woolly Wednesday, which is a meeting at Pioneer Quilts where a group of stitchers gets together in their classroom space, and we stitch together and we jaw-jack and carry on and catch up with each other, and then when we're done we go off until we come back again. And those stitching groups are kind of a blessing. They're a blessing. At least for me, they're a blessing. I love my stitching groups, and it's all kinds of people. You are, your belief systems, your all the different things. You still come together with that common love of stitching and kind of hanging out together. Besides the fact that the shop is right there. The shop is right there. Yeah, it makes it so much nicer. So I'm going to be stitching on this as we're talking away. I have been reading this book. Oh man, I wasn't sure about it. If you are a Stitch Roadie viewer, which is the other channel I have that has to do with cross stitch, I don't know why I decided to do them separately, but I have. I might, if you watch that, you'll already have heard about this book I'm reading. It's called Babel, and it is a kind of a fantasy magical book, or it was a gift from my younger son for my birthday, and I gotta get my floss out here. I need this brown, okay. And so I'm on to chapter 4, and I read it every evening. And here's the thing, usually I'm on my doing something on my phone, reading my phone at night, but they said that blue light's not good for you. I don't know if that's true or not. I mean, they've done all kinds of science and stuff, but I didn't seem to have a problem. But I thought maybe I will switch back to nighttime reading of hardcover book. I don't know if it makes any difference for me. But this book is a big one, and I like the author because I had read Yellowface, which was the first book I read of hers, which was, oh my gosh, it was a great book. I mean, it was a great read. So this one I anticipate will be equally as interesting, but because I'm not really a fantasy reader, although I don't know what's going on. I really don't know what's going on in this book. I have not given up on it. But two boys, one, the main character, was brought to England from China, Canton, China, and he is enrolled in the School of Translation at Oxford. Yeah. So I'm still trying to figure out what's going on. Although my friend Janine, who owns Acorns and Threads, read it and said, yeah, it's a good book. So I'm going to keep going on it. The audiobook that I am currently listening to is The Boy in the Striped Pajamas. I know that's going to be a heartbreaker. I can tell already, and I'm just at the beginning. So those are the literary portion of this YouTube video. As far as what I have been watching on television, I have watched The Fall Guy, which is a new movie. I can't remember the name of that actor, but I do like him. He's a stunt guy in the movies. It's not like a heavy-weighted pull at your heartstrings kind of movie. It's a total diversion. And right now, I don't know about you, but I need a diversion. So that was a great thing to watch. And other than that, I have been keeping up on the watching of the Survivor, which, oh, G totally just tolerates when Survivor's on. He's not the least bit interested. He usually has his headphones on, looking on his laptop, reading his laptop. But I am a person And I kind of think it was the way I grew up. I grew up in a multilingual household where I did not understand half of what was being said. And so I became very, very dependent on body language, reading people's faces, listening to the tone in people's voice. And so that whole survivor thing, that's the part that appeals to me, is all the underlying stuff that's going on. And I have to say, growing up that way, I pretty much can read a room. I can read a room. Well, I just saw on social media that Quilt Market was going on, and oh, so many wonderful things coming out. I just can't wait for all the new stuff. So I'll have to show you. I did order some fabric from the Fat Quarter Shop. I just got, I mean, it was some new fabric, and I was getting the holiday vibe, you know, and it's by Maywood Kimberbell. Oh, it's a whole different stash of fabrics, sugar-coated by Deborah Edwards of Northcott. They put this little pack together. Baking Up Joy by Danielle Wilmington Prince. Oh, that one's really cute. Who is that by? Oh, it doesn't have... Oh, there's the salvage. This one is a very Terry Christmas. Well, that gives it away right there. It's all these Christmas prints. So I thought, I need some Christmas prints. So look at that. Candy cane. That one's got hot cocoa, and I'm thinking it's coffee. I just asked G a few minutes ago, do we have any decaf coffee? It's kind of late for caffeine for me, but oh, sometimes you just want that pumpkin spice latte. Yeah. This one's really cool. This gray print with the candy cane on it. Yeah. So I just wanted these newer Christmas prints that had come out, so I ordered them from Fat Quarter Shop, either for backing on pillows or using it on the back of some of my cross stitch or making table runner. You know, it's just half yard cuts. So I got that from the Fat Quarter Shop. I did, oh my gosh, let me just set this down and get this up here to show you. So you know that I had cut out and was all ready for, this is the fundraiser for Breast Cancer Research Foundation by the Fat Quarter Shop, the Woven Heart Quilt Pattern. It's available. It's a great quilt. It's a great quilt. I knew right away when I saw it that I wanted to be on board for that. And I know exactly where this quilt is going. But I have never done, I mean, paper piecing is my, yeah, I don't think in 15 plus years have I ever done paper piecing. And foundation paper piecing I have never done. And so I just got the kit, the kit. But what I didn't get, so all the fabric came, and this pack of papers, you know, they're foundation papers, and the instructions how to cut up the quilt. So I had like totally did all my cutting, but I've never done foundation paper piecing. And I know some of you in the last, when I showed this the last time, many of you were so encouraging, and thank you so much. saying how everything comes out perfect. You're gonna love it. You know, I love the encouragement that we can give each other. But the two things that I did not get in the kit that in watching Kimberly Jolly's video on how to put these blocks together was the roller that kind of presses as you go, and the water, oh no, I got the water pen that helps you peel the paper off, but it was the glue stick. I didn't get the glue stick and the roller. So I had to adjust that, figure out how to do it without those two items. And what I can say is that the paper rips off pretty good when you have to frog. Yeah, yeah. By the time you sew over the paper a couple times, because you've turned the piece the wrong way, the paper comes off pretty darn good. But I had to have Kimberly's video up, and I would stop it and do that step and stop it and do that step, and then I'd have to go back to the beginning and do it again, because I think I've always, I remember this when I tried paper piecing, that I could not figure out which way to turn the fabric to get it to fold over. Yeah, there's like a what do they call that? A blank spot in my brain that doesn't understand. No one would have wanted me to build the Golden Gate Bridge. No one. But look at here. Isn't that great? I mean, it does come out just perfect. Just perfect. But what's interesting is I'm going to have to watch that video several times to get that all in my head. But I'm so pleased with how this block turned out, and you know, the back is just, yeah. I know you're probably supposed to take the paper off before you press it all, but I was too freaked out about it all. So that is going to be a fall, you know, continuing on and working on that. But you can still get that, and I'm telling you, those foundation, that pack, let's see, this is what it looks like. It is just, make 6-inch blocks, come out perfect. I did get, I still have to finish cutting this quilt. There was just a lot of cutting. And this also was a kit from Fat Quarter Shop. Hidden Stars, designed by Kim Deal. I love Kim Deal's fabrics. I just love them. And this is so pretty. And a pretty simple quilt. It's just a whole lot of cutting. And I did have to have help with that cutting, let me tell you. It was, I don't know. There is just a, I forget what that is called, but there is a certain blank spot in my head that, that is, you know, it might be because of that, you know, I have this thing in the center of my brain. It's nothing important, but they do an MRI, you know, regularly to make sure that it's all behaving itself. But I think it might be, and I call it Annabelle. I think it might be because of her that this sometimes it makes no sense. And thank goodness my girlfriend Cheryl came over, because she doesn't have that thing in the middle of her head, but she helped me figure out how to cut the instructions because she totally understood them. Yeah. Oh, look at, I got one stem. One stem's done. On to the next stem. Yeah. Okay. This is the project that I am taking to Woolly Wednesdays at Pioneer Quilts to till I get it all stitched down, or till Christmas stitching comes out, which, you know, I can feel it already. Don't you feel the Christmas stitching? Okay. I did order a couple of patterns. They're PDF patterns. I just thought they were so cute. And I kind of like to have patterns around. Not that I don't have a ton of them, but I like to have patterns around. Oh gosh, I am so ridiculous. That I could make gifts, you know, that could make good gifts. And, okay, so I already did that stem. So I'm just moving, I gotta move this, see, I'm just moving this down to the next stem. Okay, so you see how this little leaf is lifted a little bit there? I know that I may have to take a break from the stem and stitch that one down just to make sure that I don't lose it. So where was it? Oh yeah, patterns. The spotted hare. And I saw these, and they're PDFs, so it was just easy to get them. I saw these and thought, oh, they make such cute gifts, you know, and they're pin cushions. Let me just say that. So the spotted hare from the heart pin cushion pattern. And I could just, you know, PDF download, piece of cake. But here, look at that pin cushion. Isn't that cute? Out of wool. I loved that one. And then I loved this one. Strawberry. Yeah. So I got those two patterns. And then, did I tell you about my friend Scott Hansen, the blue nickel patterns? I think I might have told you last time, but I'll tell you again. Anyway, I had to order the latest issue of Quilt Folk magazine because he is featured in it. Let me see if I can find a picture. Oh, this is a good picture of him. Oh, sorry about that. Are you okay? Scott did it. Oh, yeah. Oh, this is just, I mean, joyous. A joyous personality. I think I might have showed you this last time because also in here, oh, I can't wait to really dive into this. I haven't had a chance to dive into this. Oh, man. But, there are so many talented quilters. Just so many talented quilters. Yeah, because here's my, here was my roommate last year at Quilters Affair. Charisma Horton. Yeah. Her quilts are so beautiful. They are so fun. I don't do much of that saturated color, but boy, they always make me smile. In her studio, and I've been watching her. Re paint and make her house, give it a different look, you know. So I'm going to just step away. I just want to turn that around a little bit. I'm just going to step away for a second and grab something that I want to show you. So hang in there. So I have a big project. I think, and you all know this, that quilting, the history of quilting is to provide warmth for those around you. The women made quilts because it was cold and they could warm their children, they could warm themselves. There wasn't the fabric, and so they made it out of old clothing. Nothing was ever thrown away. And at different times in my life, I have embraced that concept. And I remember, and I've told you this story before, but some of you may not have heard it because you're new, and who goes back through hundreds of videos to listen to someone's old videos? But there was a young man in the town where my children grew up in, and he was the first casualty in the Middle East War. And he went to the same high school and was, at the same time one of my children was there. And it just broke my heart. And so, I mean, as any mother, you grieve for those mothers that lose their children. And so I contacted the mother through an acquaintance of hers and said if she would give me his t-shirts, because boys have all kinds of t-shirts, bands they love or sports they liked or whatever, I would make a t-shirt quilt for her with his clothing. And it was not only a gift to her, but it was a gift for me. And I realized at that time that, yes, quilting really does have that. There's something about it, not only for the maker, but for the receiver. And then a few years back, a co-worker's son passed away, and a group of us made blocks out of his clothing and made it into a quilt. And then we took one of the shirt pockets, and I know many of you probably have done the same thing. One of the blocks had a shirt pocket that we retained the pocket, and then we wrote her notes in there. And so now I am going down another path of creating something for a family member. So one of my daughter-in-law's brother passed away after an extended illness. He was a young man, he was, I think he was in his, maybe, he was the baby, so maybe he was barely 40. I don't know. Anyway, he was too young to have left his family. And so I suggested, well, if you have any shirts and stuff, I will make a quilt, for your mother. And so that's still a possibility on the back burner. But what she brought back was a jacket of his. And it always takes me a moment to, it's like I can't just jump into it. I have to I don't even know how to explain it. It has to talk to me. Yeah, talk to me. So I haven't cut this up yet. I'm going to make some pillows out of it, but it's this absolutely wonderful. It weighs a ton. It is a totally lined jean jacket that he wore working on the farm. And yeah, so that's what's coming up here. I'm going to be taking this apart, and it's always the hardest at the beginning, because once I start taking it apart, then it talks to me. Yeah, so I have, my December's going to be about this, and just retaining, you know, all the wear. It's like you don't want to repair any of it, if you know what I mean. So I have that going on in December, in November and December. But also, I suddenly got a bee in my bonnet. This is the Beehive, after all. And the bees are mostly going to sleep. Hexies. So I tore apart my little hexie desk and decided I want to organize my hexies. Because I remember, I hope you got yourself something to drink and a snack. But I remember several years ago, I stopped at a quilt shop in Redding, California. I was driving down and I stopped to shop around, and I did a video. I don't know how long ago that would have been, but there was a woman in there who, I think she was like a famous hexie queen. That's all I can't remember the name, but she had a box filled with prepped hexies. And I never forgot it, because it was like, you know, she opened that box and you could hear the angels sing, kind of thing. And then she said the reason she did that was because then she could, if she had she wanted to make a scrap hexie flower, she had, it's all prepped, and she just, because I do my hexies the same way as she did, which is with silk thread. You know, you can't even see where they're stitched together. And she said she can just pick hexie flowers out and make them scrappy, or if she has a whole bunch of flowers, like I could make all this Christmas fabric into hexies. And she had them in this project box already prepped, so she could relax and sit down and then just make hexie flowers. Genius. I didn't do it back then, but it's because I'm not organized enough. But maybe something happened as I get older that I want to be a little more organized. And so I had bought this plastic box, and that's kind of what I plan to do. I think my goal, you know, one always has to have goals. My goal is like one day a month in the Beehive, and it could be more than one day. I'm going to let it happen. I'm not going to schedule it. When the hexie moves me, that's when I'm moving. And I am going to have a hexie prep day where I just prep hexies, because you get all the stuff out and you just want to, you know, prep, and then you have it all ready for when you want to stitch. And the reason I never did it before is because I thought, oh, I want to reuse my hexie papers. You know, they're not that expensive. You could cut them out of something yourself if you wanted to. But So I started this, I saw this box, and this plastic box, and here's the lid, and I started making, someone gifted me these hexies here, but I started, these are all Halloween hexies on this side. And I'm just going to fill this box with hexies so that whenever I want to sit down and stitch some hexies together, that I can do it. And see, all I'm doing is it's just folded over and pressed on the paper. So this is going to be, because I forget that I love it. I know, it makes no sense. How do you forget you love something? Yeah, I forget I love it because it's put away. And so I'm going to, you know, because I really, when I grow up, I want to be like Kate on the Last Homely House. That's what I really want to have happen. So I've got my, so stay tuned. Who knows when that box will be all filled up. Well, I think I have about, yes, I think we've made it. Yeah. Huh. So all the Halloween came down. November 1st, fall went up in the house. I also broke out the 1,000-piece puzzle. My middle grandson and I broke out the 1,000-piece puzzle, and that, I'm not sure, I told G, I said, I'm not sure if that was a mistake or not, because it's on the dining room table, and it's really hard for me to do anything else. When I walk by, I have to tell myself, if I find one piece that fits, that's enough, and then I get up and go away. But no, usually an hour's passed and I'm still working on it. Yeah. I do love those puzzles, though, and it's just a different way to engage the brain. It's just a different way to engage the brain. And isn't that what quilting is about? It's a giant puzzle all the time. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for stopping by. I hope if your spring and summer is in full swing that you are enjoying it. If you are having snow like I know some of my friends are, I hope you're enjoying it. Otherwise, we'll see you the next time, and you all take care, and you know I love you guys.